So coming to a seated position, and you can either have your eyes open or closed. And take your right hand and place it under your left arm. And take your left hand and just hug the outside of your right arm. And just drop your chin slightly to your chest. Taking an in and an out breath. And then very gently raising your chin up, releasing that hold, and taking your left arm under your right hand, your left hand under your right armpit, and holding your outside of your left arm. Again, dropping the chin to your chest. So it's opening the armpits, connects into our breathing, and gives us more space. And then very gently release your hands and just bring your hands to the back of your head, chin to chest. In Iyengar's yoga for cancer, this is brought up as being helpful for being anti-nausea. So I don't know, be interesting to see. And just experiment with your hands so that you're perhaps moving and connecting with your head to suit you. So perhaps your elbows in a little bit more, your chin more into your chest. And then just release. Just touch your fingertips to your forehead. Connecting to the third eye. Drop the fingers down and just very lightly, if you don't connect with your lips, just in the lip area. So thoughts, words. And then drop the hands down to your heart. So lifting upwards. And breathing in, keeping your elbows in, just opening your hands out. And breathing out. Hands come back to the heart center. The chin comes to the chest. Breathing in, hands go out. Breathing out, chin comes to chest. And just a few times in your own breath pattern. And make the next one the last one. Release the hands and then come to lying on the mat with your knees bent and feet hip width apart. And come to place the hands on the abdomen. There's also an option to place keeping one hand on the abdomen and one hand at the heart centre. And breathing in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth. And just take a few breaths in your own time, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then you can start. You can leave your hands where they are, or bring your hands to your abdomen, or the hands can be on the floor, wherever is comfortable for you. And just start to let the head feel heavy and move the head from to one side as you breathe out. You can stay here for a couple of breaths, or you can move your head in time with your breath, bringing the head back to the centre and breathing out, moving to the left. So either move your head in time with your breath or linger. The back of the head feels heavy and you're connecting with the ground. And then coming back to the centre. And then perhaps moving your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. Keeping your hands comfortable wherever you want to keep them. Rest them, they can stay on the abdomen or on the floor. And just let the knees, both of them, rock gently over to the right, and your left hip will lift off the ground. Just stay here for an in and an out breath. And when you're ready, tummy in, perineum engages to bring the knees to the upright position. When you're ready, let the knees, both of them, drift over to the left, and your right hip will lift. And then decide, bringing the knees back to the centre, whether you want to move the knees from side to side in tune with your breath pattern, breathing out as the knees drop down to the side, breathing in as the knees come up, and breathing out as the knees drop to the other side. Or you might feel that you want to linger and keep the knees to one side for a couple of breaths. And then you can start to bring the head into the movement. So that as the knees drop to the right, your head will turn to the left. Head and knees centre, and as the knees drop to the left, your head will turn to the right. very gently, coming back to the centre. Head is the central and your knees are the centre. And then keeping your feet where they are, pick up your left knee and hug your left knee into the chest. Very gently circle the left knee a few times in one direction. And then very gently circle the left knee a few times in the opposite direction. And then very gently supporting the left leg as you place the left foot on the floor. And take a moment to bring your focus to your right side. And leaving now the left foot where it is, pick up the right foot and hug the right knee into the chest. And very gently circle the right knee a few times in one direction. And then circle the right knee in the opposite direction. Keep the right knee hugged into the chest and let the left knee join it so that both knees are hugged into the chest. Let both knees drift away to arm's length. Open the knees so that they look like a V and then circle them so that they meet back hugged into your chest. And just do a few circles in one direction using both knees. The next time you hug your knees into your chest, open the knees away from one another and then circle them so that they meet at the top away from you. So you're changing direction. And just carry on a few times, circling the knees in the opposite direction. And then hug both knees into the chest. And very gently supporting both knees or both legs, let both feet come down to the ground so that your knees are still upwards and your feet are still hip width apart. And then leaving your right foot where it is, hug your left knee into your chest. Holding it, hugging it in as you breathe out. Breathe in and let it drift away to arm's length. And just repeat this a few times to you in your own breath pattern. And then very gently let the left foot travel back down to the ground. And bring your attention to the right side, picking up the right knee and hugging the right knee into the chest. Still holding it, let it go to arm's length. Breathing out, hugging it back in, and just carry on in your own breath pattern. And then keeping the right knee hugged into the chest, let the left knee join it. Both knees are hugged into the chest. Let both knees drift away to arm's length. And keep on hugging the knees into the chest as you breathe out. Breathing in, let the knees drift to arm's length. And then hugging the knees into the chest. Just circle both ankles in one direction. And then circle both ankles in the opposite direction. And then hugging the knees into the chest, just rock gently from side to side. Feeling the weight, letting the weight of the body connect to the earth. And then hugging the knees into the chest. Breathing in, raise the left foot and the left arm up and behind you. Extend the left heel. Breathing out, hugging the left knee into the chest. Breathing in, raise the right arm up and above you. And breathing out, hugging the right knee into the chest. And a couple of more times in your own breath pattern. And then hugging both knees into the chest. Really hug the knees in and open the knees out wide. And then sliding the hands down to hold both big toes. If that's not accessible, then hold where on the leg where it's working for you. And come to just extend the legs up to the ceiling. in a V, and then just rock very gently from side to side, holding your big toe. If your arms weren't long enough, you would hold your shin or behind your calf somewhere. And then bend both knees, hugging both knees into the chest. And place both feet onto the floor, knees up to the ceiling. Palms down alongside you, and a couple of pelvic tilts, so flattening your back as if you're going to lift your bottom. And then moving in the opposite direction, aiming the tailbone to the floor so that a little gap appears under your back. And a couple of times in your own breath pattern. And then coming to neutral. Bend the elbows and just hold your head underneath the head, maybe clasping the hands together, your elbows out. And just really use your fingers to press against the back of the skull. Your elbows might come in and up towards the ceiling. And you might want to expand that and just supporting your head, move your head from side to side, very gently. And then just release the head back to the ground and use your fingers again just to press in against the skull. Palms of your hands press into the side of the head. And you might want to just rock your head from side to side, resting on the backs of the hands. And then just very gently releasing the hands out from under the side of the head. And then palms down alongside. And we're going to roll to the side to come to all fours. So come to roll, or come to your hands and knees, however that works for you. So coming to tabletop. We're still very much keeping the body low to the ground. The heart is parallel to the ground. And just start by swaying the bottom from side to side. And if you want to, you can do a horizontal figure of 8 with your bottom, swaying. Getting movement into the pelvis. And then come to all fours and very gently turn the head to look over the right shoulder, as little or as much as that works for you. Breathe in, bring the head back to the centre, and as you breathe out, turn to look over your left shoulder. Bringing the head to the centre and once more to each side, turning to look over the shoulder. Bring the head back to the centre and breathing in some cat-cow movements, dipping the back, looking up if that works for your neck. If it doesn't, look forward on the mat. Breathing out, rounding, your chin comes to your chest. And a few times to your own breath pattern, keeping you low, heart parallel to the ground, restful for the heart, chin to chest, calm for the nervous system. and come to neutral and slide the right hand palm upwards through behind the left. So as you come onto your right shoulder, right side of the head, and your left hand just comes out to the side of the mat just to support you. You're connecting once more to the earth. As an option, you can slide your left leg back and just tuck your left toes under, but that is an option, and only if you're stable, opening the lungs. And then release the left knee to the ground. Tummy in as you slide your right hand back so that you're on tabletop. Just swaying your hips from side to side. And then upturn left palm, slide onto your left shoulder. Adjust your right hand perhaps out to the side of the mat to support your weight. And as an option, you can slide your right leg back, tucking the right toes under, stretching out the right leg. And then bring the right knee back if you've lifted your leg up. Slide the left hand out from underneath you and come back to tabletop. Just once more, come through a figure of 8, swaying your hips. Perhaps move one way. And there's always the option then to swirl your figure of 8 the other way. And then tucking the toes. If this works for you, come to a very soft downward dog. Lengthening the spine, extending the legs, and then walking the dog by bending one knee and then bending the other knee as you sway perhaps from side to side. And then walk gradually, your hands to your feet to your hands. Soften your knees, hold your elbows, take an in and an out breath, and then drop your hands and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Just checking in with you, how are you feeling at the moment?
Not too bad.
Okay.
A bit tired, but okay.
Okay, are you all right to stay standing?
Yes, I'll stand for a bit. Yes.
Okay, so just lift and roll your shoulders. Breathe into the left as you turn your head to the left. And breathing out, turn your head to the right. Breathing into the left. And breathing out, turn your head to the right. Lift and roll your shoulders. And breathing in, raise your right arm, stretch it up, and breathing out, turn your head to the left. Breathe in, bring the head back to the center, and breathing out, lower the right arm. And breathing in, raise the left arm. Breathe out, turn the head to the right. Breathe in, bring the head back to the center. And breathing out, lower the left arm. Lift and roll shoulders. And then breathing in. Circle both arms up Breathing out, lower the arms as you turn to the right. Breathing in, raise both arms upwards, coming to the centre. And breathing out, lower the arms as you turn to the left. Breathing in, raise the arms. Come to the centre and bend the elbows, hold your elbows, and then just almost swirl or sway from side to side with your bent elbows. You can move your head too within this swirling, and then just come to the centre and lower the arms. And half salute to the sun as you bring your fingers to the heart centre. Just take an in and an out breath here. When you're ready, just soften the knees and circle the arms up, stretching up. The palms meet, and then coming with the palms through the centre of the body and sliding the hands to the shins. Press into the shins as you breathe in and extend your spine, half lift, chin to chest. Breathing out, bend in, your elbows bend, your knees bend. Head comes chin to chest. Breathing in, half lift. And stay here as you breathe out. Breathe in, soften your knees, press your feet into the ground, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Breathe out. Breathe in, raise the arms, join your thumbs, and just sway from side to side. Breathing out, lower the arms back down alongside you. Lift and roll the left shoulder back, and lift and roll the right shoulder back. Palms together, one more salute to the sun. Half salute. Soften the knees, circle the arms up, stretch up. Palms together. Come through the heart centre, bend the knees, hands go onto the shins, half lift. Breathe out, soften in, curling. Breathe in, half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. And then breathe in, soften the knees, press the feet down, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands go up as you breathe in, and just circle the wrists down. Lift and roll shoulders. And then hands on the hips, breathing in, turn the head to the left as you breathe in, and breathing out, turn your head to the right. In to the left, and out to the right. Bring the head back to the centre, and soften the knees. Bend them and just engage your abdominal muscles for a moment. Breathing in, come back to standing. Bring the hands to palms up to below the navel. And then breathing in, lift the hands up. Just let the palms go down over your head. You don't have to touch your head. And breathing out, lower the hands and bring them back once more to the navel. And again, breathing in, palms up, and And then turn the palms so that you're almost brushing over your head, over your aura. Breathing out, separate the hands and lower your arms to bring them back to below the navel, the dantian, or below the heart. Breathing in, palms up, over the head. Breathing out, lowering the arms back down, once more to the dantian. And last, in your own time, breathing in, hands up and over the head. Breathing out. And bring them once more, palms up to below the dantian. Just take a couple of breaths here. And then release the hands and bend your knees to come down once more to the floor. Your legs are out in front of you. And just toes up and toes away a couple of times. And then circle the ankles in one direction. And circle the ankles in the opposite direction. And then just feet slightly apart. And just slide your hands down your legs, leading with the chest. And when you feel that you're forward enough, just release your head forward. Take a couple of breaths here. If your arms are long, you might feel that you'd like to hold your big toes, or hold the outside of your feet, or just rest your hands somewhere on the shins. Taking a couple of breaths. The back of the neck is long. Chin is towards the chest, engaging the vagus nerve. And then very gently slide the hands up the legs. Just either rub or pat the legs. And then just bending the knees, we're going to come once more to lying on our backs. Knees up to the ceiling, feet are hip width apart. Hands resting on the abdomen, or one hand on the abdomen, one hand on the heart, or both hands on the heart. Just comfortable with your hands. And we're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth in your own breath pattern. Feel that you want to rest more and have your knees together, resting together, then bring your feet out towards the mat, into the mat a little bit more. Just be comfortable. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. And just be aware of the parts of the body that connect with the earth. What's is being supported by the earth, what's being held. Toes, the lower back, your foot, along the back of the head, the shoulders. And be aware of the texture and feel of the clothes against your skin. Become aware of the sounds where you are inside. And then expand your awareness to become aware of sounds both inside and outside. Have a moment to have a thought for the day, a wish, a resolve, or an intention for the day. Have that thought a couple of times. And then let it go. And then bringing the attention to the base of the nostrils, breathing in through the nose to a point in the head that you imagine to be the centre of the head. And as you breathe out, that transparent air goes from the top of the head all the way down through the body, and you put into that out-breath anything that's not serving you today, any thought or emotion, any niggle or pain that's not serving you. Go back to the earth through your feet. And take a couple of breaths, once more connecting to the nostrils, to the centre of the head, and then leaving through the feet. And bring your hands to a prayer position, thumbs together. And just touch the thumbs to your forehead. Kind thoughts. Just drop your thumbs to connect with your lips, kind words. And then just drop your thumbs back to prayer position, kind deeds, which includes being kind to yourself. Release the hands and then hug one knee and then the other knee into the chest. And just very gently rock from side to side, letting the earth take the weight of the body, the weight of the back of the head once more. And then taking your time, you can either stay there or you can come to a seated position to end the class. And I can read a card for the day.